From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV. Back at my bar, back at Tommy Mac's, brought to you by our good friends at truckcrashlaw.com and the Carpet Man. We're talking sales recruiting, we're talking cold cases, we're talking a little entertainment, talking some jazz. We're going to get into it right here at my bar. Let's welcome in the panel. Brian Maxwell's up first. Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm doing excellent,
Sales Professionals of America Recruiting.
You got it.
In the automobile industry,
Automotive
correct?
industry, that's
how
it.
long you been doing that for, man?
I've been in the industry for 22 years,
Okay.
but as far as the company itself, for a little bit over 10, almost 11.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then you developed this program for sales, right, to help them
Specifically
just...
for- I'm sick of people having such bad experiences,
Yeah.
so we said we'll help customers turn that frown upside down
Okay.
and just do it one store at a time. You know,
Okay.
bringing in the right people, getting them ready to get out there and be productive and
See,
positive.
you probably can't stand when people say, car sales. You know, like, he sounds like a car, right?
But it's rightfully so. They're
Yeah.
right, you know, because at one point in time, if they had to choose between paying the rent and telling the truth,
Right.
rent would win out. But now
True.
we got little computers in our pocket,
Right.
and the person can validate if you're telling the truth or not on the spot. So it's just all
Okay.
about being more customer focused.
Yeah, definitely. Being prepared and being able to handle any customer, right?
Absolutely.
Great to have you at the
Right,
bar,
well,
man.
appreciate you for having me,
Absolutely. Ryan Backmann's here, Project
Tom.
Cold Case.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having
I'm
me.
interested to hear your story. Your father was murdered, 5 years ago?
No,
9 years ago.
2009.
2009, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, that's
2009, and then you started your...
I started the organization
Yeah.
in 2015 to help
Okay.
families like mine that had experienced loss to an unsolved homicide.
Right. And so tell me how you got started with that, man. Like, obviously
Well,
a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
You know, your father being murdered and whatnot, and then you're jumping into that, just,
Yeah,
getting into
so,
it.
you believe, because everything you see is on TV, is that an arrest is made right away. So
Right.
in 2009, like everybody else, I just
Yep.
assumed an arrest was imminent, and then it wasn't, and then that
Right.
stretched, and so I switched careers, started helping other families that had been impacted by violence,
Okay.
and then started recognizing kind of a void in services for families of unsolved cases. In 2015, I decided to start Project Cold Case
Okay.
as an organization that focuses specifically on those unsolved murders, not just locally, but
Right.
nationally.
Wow. And so the foundation of it all, I mean, obviously there's many sides to it, right? The legal side, the emotional side. What would you say to that?
The foundation is a lot of these families feel like their loved one's forgotten, that
Yep.
nobody cares anymore.
Right.
And all I wanted to do was be able to provide the knowledge that someone else cared. And now we do a lot more than that now,
Sure,
but
no.
starting
Yeah,
out,
that's
that
the
was the
base.
foundation. And,
Wow.
as long as we maintain that, then we're successful, whether a case is resolved or
Yeah.
whether ultimately it stays unresolved or unsolved. We still are providing that service, which
Good for you,
is
man.
the foundation.
Turn a negative into a positive.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Great to have you.
Thanks.
Tiara's here.
Hey.
Tiara Bree, is that
Tiara
correct?
Bree, yes.
Great to have you. You're you used to be here,
Cosplayer.
right? Yeah.
I did. So yes,
Yeah.
I used to be the OG host of,
Yeah.
of the Buzz.
Awesome. So a cosplayer, tell us all about that.
So that was very random. Started in Atlanta playing dress up
Okay.
and realized people pay you for that. And
Cool.
then once I realized I could make a living from it,
Yeah.
I started doing it mostly on social media.
Okay.
That's where you make the bulk of your money.
Sure.
And then moved on to guest appearances at Comic-Con.
Really? How many different characters do you dress up as?
So during 2020, that's when I really started. I did 56 characters that year.
Wow.
Because we were home at my mom's house, and I had time and resources because she's a seamstress
Oh,
and
right.
taught me how to sew. So it was definitely helpful. But altogether, I think I've done 111.
Wow. Any favorites? Who's your favorite?
Ula from Star Wars, May the 4th be with you.
Okay.
And then Lara Croft, because that was my first.
Oh,
one.
yeah. Action,
Yeah.
right? Getting
I look
after the
super
bad guy. Do you, when you dress up, do you have to do a little research on the character so you feel like you gotta
of
play
course.
the
So
character?
I try
feel
not
the
to
character?
cosplay anyone I haven't seen before in
Okay.
action, in a movie, in
Okay.
anime, things like that. So I know what I'm talking about, and I can pose like them, get their mannerisms right, and things like that.
Cool.
So yeah, I don't do
Awesome.
anything I haven't watched.
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And this is your mother.
Yes.
Thea Jeffers.
Yes.
How are you? Breezy Jazz Cafe, is that correct?
Breezy Jazz House.
That's awesome. So you're the owner of that establishment.
Yes, I am.
And that's locally here in San Marco? Are we
It's
pretty
right
close?
on San Marco, 1402 San Marco.
Okay. How long have you owned the
I've been in this location for 2.5 years,
Okay.
but in business for 6.
Okay. Always like a lounge club or whatever
Well,
type
I was
owner?
located on Adams Street for 4 years,
Okay.
and then we moved over here because I wanted a new location.
Cool. And how's it been going since
It's
you
been
moved?
wonderful.
Yeah.
Simply wonderful.
Man, challenges during pandemic, I'm sure like crazy, right?
Oh, it was horrible.
I
And
bet.
that was one of the reasons we moved to San Marco. We shut down during COVID, then we decided
reopen?
Reopen. Yes.
That's great. I love jazz. First of all, there's a ton of talent here in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Ton of musical talent. But how do you get your?
Well, I'm lucky that
people.
I don't really have to advertise because we've been in business for 6 years. They pretty much contact me, I look at a video, and then I hire them. So I've hired many local jazz artists, but we also bring in national talent as well.
All right, that's awesome. I love a good jazz. Being from Chicago, man, go sit in a jazz club and just chill out and listen to some jazz. Nothing wrong. We should have some here. I feel like we can play a little here right now.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, that would be great. Let's work on that for sure. All right, a question for the panel like we like to do. Look, the Bud Light controversy, we could call it a controversy. Whatever side you sit, it doesn't really matter. It's just they made a decision to go a different way in promoting their brand, and it's hurt them badly. Like their market share is like tanking. I don't know if it's coming back at all, but it's been tanked. So not where you feel about it, but what would you try to do to fix it? Like if you were Bud Light, or do you just let it run its course and people are either going to come back or they're not going to come back?
We definitely have to do damage control. Even though we know the general public has a short memory, certain things stick with us a little longer than others. So I would just try to re-energize the base of the company who were the Bud Light drinkers before, and let them know, hey, we haven't changed at all. We just tried a little something new. If you guys didn't like it, we apologize. Like they did. They put out that different commercial back to the horses and whatnot like that, and it kind of promoting American values again. So they've already making the change, but that's what I would do. Just reconnect with the base, letting them know, hey, we made a mistake, but we still here for you.
Well, or or just it shouldn't be maybe not on the forefront. You know what I mean? You got to appease everybody, right? That beer's for everybody. It's not just for a specific group. Ryan, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think that you make that decision early on whether you're going to make this transition and show support for a marginalized community.
Yep.
Knowing what your base is.
Yeah.
So for me, that decision was made early on.
Yeah.
Maybe the fallout was more than they expected or anticipated.
Yep.
But I think as a company, you got to make that decision whether you're going to, now backpedal.
You got to
go
backpedal.
back, backpedal and go back, and then what do you do? Now that community. So tough position. I think this shows you really got to think through a lot of things before you go public with them. Before you comment on them publicly.
Yeah, you shouldn't just throw it against the wall, and not at that level, right?
For sure.
No doubt about it. How about you? What do you
I
say?
definitely feel like they need some diversity in the room, from all ages, influencers and things like that included.
Yep.
Just because we're very conscious about social, I guess, injustices and things like that now. So I think it's got to run its course. It definitely has to. But they just need some more inclusion in all aspects going forward.
Yeah, throw it in there a little bit. It's all good. I mean, it's only beer. I mean,
Exactly. You can't please everybody.
You know what? Marble Man, don't you do a thing. I'm telling you right now. You're going to screw it all up. All right, you have last word. What do you say?
Well,
what do
the
you
fact
think?
that they realized they made a mistake, I would just go back to the drawing board, realize what worked, reintroduce it, and just be open to the public that we want y'all back. And then just keep it going.
Right, and as an owner of what you like, sometimes the act doesn't work out, or something doesn't work out, or something happens. You gotta
you
do a
learn
little
fast
bit.
and you fix it. Just be flexible.
Good. Well, great answers and great to have you all on the show. All the best to you. I'm a Heineken guy myself, so I could care less who's promoting Bud Light or not. All right, that'll do it for us this time around from Tommy Max right here on Buzz TV. If you like these kind of conversations, there are plenty more to view right there at iwanttabuzz.com. So until next time, you stay safe and be cool out there. We'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.